We are live on the SideQuest SCHWEP. This is your team that's going to bring you all that gaming goodness every single week or week-ish, whenever we can. SideQuesting.com, SideQuesting TV on YouTube and Twitch. Go to the SideQuesting Discord, because we have a lot of fun there. And before we go on anything, I want to thank our awesome Patreon folk. We have, I think, starting tomorrow, I'm tired. Tomorrow might be the 1-year anniversary of our Patreon. And we actually have a Patreon member on tonight, which we'll get into in a second here. Thank you to our awesome Patreon members. Punctified, the executive, Punkdefied. Punctified is heading out to the Game Awards. They're gonna have a wonderful time out there. We hung out last year. We were attached to the hip, had a great time. Wish I could have gone this year. Timing wise, couldn't make it out. But thank you to our producers, Jeff Grubb, Exogenous, Zero the Prototype, and the one, the only Stefan Swanlin, who is joining us right there. Right there. Stefan Swanlin, everybody.
Here.
I'm Dolly Domofsky. That's Tyler. And we are rocking on the SideQuest. Stefan, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I've only been in the Discord for like 10 years.
Yeah, and you've paid your dues. We figured you're a sucker enough to be on the podcast. And
long-time listener, first-time caller.
Yeah. No, he maybe first-time caller, but he's always messaging. So that's good.
Yes.
Stefan, how's it going, my dude? You having
going
a nice evening? Yeah. That's good. Looks like your swanky house right there. You got the piano in the background. You're about to go play in your postmodern house there and somewhere in
do you really want to see what it looks like back there?
Nope, we don't.
I let everybody just see it, whatever.
It's
not actually just threw everything off camera. So.
Oh, it looks so much worse than that. I'm sorry. Like mine is a total disaster.
Yeah. I have sticky notes back there on the wall with my posters. I do have to I have to adjust my camera. I got to put it on a stand or something because I'm like downward to the camera, and you want it to be at least eye level. So I have to. It's on the top of my laptop right now. If I did this, let's see if I can lower myself. Here we go.
Yeah, my desk has like a
and
weird.
This is I'm gonna do the whole show like this.
There you go. My desk has like a weird oopy part that I don't think you're supposed to like set your laptop and monitor on, but I do. So whatever.
My problem is my chair likes to swivel a lot and I can't control it sometimes. So I'll start, if you see me like going like this on accident.
Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of cool. It's almost like you're wiping the world away when you do that.
Oh yeah, that weird fake background distortion effect.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yes. Well, we're gonna have a great show today. We got a little bit of pre-game awards hype, and some of the games we've been playing. I will say this: the Game Awards are on Thursday. We're going to have our annual Game Awards drink along stream. For those joining us, we are back. We're getting the full team back together again, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. Join us on Thursday, starting around, I'm guessing around 7:40, 7:45 Eastern time. The show starts at 8, the actual show. There's always a pre-show that kicks off at 7:30. We may be going at 7:30. We don't know. We'll see what happens there. I got to adjust this because I'm too low. We may be going. We don't know. We got you boys, the 3 stages of having a beard. Very correct. Very correct.
And to answer her question, it's both.
Okay.
If you get a chance, feel free to join us. You can find us. Same thing. We're gonna be streaming it from here. We're gonna have a good time doing it. You can watch on YouTube or Twitch or in the Discord. We'll figure it out. With that said, we're gonna dive into a little bit of news right now, and there actually is some Game Awards related news. A lot of stuff has been sort of leaking.
Poor Jeff.
It seems to happen every single year. Like quite literally the week of the Game Awards, stuff will start to leak. Now, This first story, Jeff kind of started this by creating. He essentially had a statue created or commissioned, or a publisher commissioned this statue, this totem, out in the middle of nowhere, and and no one could figure it out. Is it Doom? Is it Diablo related? Is it God of War related? We don't know. We'll find out at the show, or you might find out when there's like a trademark listing. Because
those pesky trademarks,
those pesky trademarks, and those things. Larian Studios is creating the next Divinity. They have filed for just Divinity. And guess what? The logo that's on their filing, this thing on the right, looks exactly like what's on this totem.
Yeah.
And it just feels right. So it's, they've been Baldur's Gating it for a while. Now they're moving back to the world of Divinity. Apparently, the note that went out, and this is actually really funny. The note that went out from one of the folks at Larian was, guys, we're not making Divinity Original Sin 3. We're not. Please stop. We're not doing it. There you go.
It's going to be just Divinity.
Exactly.
It's
definitely Divinity Original Sin. No, it's not. It's just Divinity, because that's what the filing is for. So they were right. They're not making Divinity Original Sin. They're just making Divinity, which is this right here.
The sin is no longer original.
Yeah, it's just
derivative
sin. It's a derivative sin. But yeah, it's it doesn't mean that we're not going to see some of these other things there, because we probably will see some stuff over there. I want totem in the middle of nowhere money. Same, don't we all? But on top of that, we've had other leaks like the Assassin's Creed? What was that one called? The Black Flag?
It was like
Resynced.
God bless him for addressing the modern day in 2025, because I know they don't normally. As somebody that loves that storyline.
Man, Prince of Persia remake supposedly was.
I think the Prince of Persia official Twitter account said no, but also I don't. You just lie. Like, honestly, that's what I would do. Yeah.
No. Now there is supposedly a Ubisoft event that both those things could be announced at. I heard very, very light. I'm not. This is just me. This is just conjecture that they're. I think somebody's wishfully hoping that there'll be one of those Ubisoft Connect, whatever they're called, things. At the end of this month. I got
bit by the bug and randomly replayed Sands of Time. It better show up sometime.
There you go. There you go. You'll have figured out the game already. Sometime in January. So if it's not here, it'll be January. But other things were like there was Leon Kennedy in Resident Evil Requiem. Sorry. That's been leaked. GameStop had it on their freaking website. PlayStation had it on their on PSN.
Yeah, it was gone whenever I checked, but yeah, I guess it was up and gone pretty quickly.
Yeah. Other things that could be leaking is people have been data mining. I think I mentioned in the Discord, people have been data mining. Surprisingly enough, the latest Mario Kart World update, and it has the voice actors listed for Void Kong and somebody else, which will remain nameless in the game, in the credits for Mario Kart World. So there's thoughts that, man, maybe some new characters or new DLC or something is being added to that game as well. Bin says, we all know this is for the new Meat Boy game. Wouldn't that be cool? The new 3D Meat Boy game is just like quite literally blood and demons. For sure.
I'm kind of surprised it wasn't Darksiders.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's true. I mean, what things do you guys want to see before we get into some other news? Like, what are some things that you're hopeful of?
I really hope that we get some news on Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3. Because there was like a recently translated interview from like October that was like, hey, yeah, we've pretty much got it almost nailed down. We've almost got a title picked out. And if that interview is from October, it could absolutely show up now. Because I think the first Rebirth like preview trailer was at Game Awards or Summer Game Fest. I can't remember where. I know one of the
so
Game
it's,
Awards had like
yeah.
the no promises to keep like reveal where she sang for a minute. So
It was Summer Game Fest. I
all
remember
right, yep,
that because that's when they first revealed it earlier this year. I remember being in
yeah.
the audience and the site got so yeah. I
I think
would
that's more likely than Kingdom Hearts, which I would
yeah
also love. But
yeah. I would like well, Stefan, what would you like?
I mean, Darksiders would be one of them, but I think that is so far out.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't think we'd even see that there.
Hmm. No, I tend to agree with you.
I feel like
And
it's like they did the same thing they did with Metroid, where they released just the cover art of it,
mhm.
saying that they're making it, and I still think this game's like 2 or 3 years out.
THQ tends to want to do their own showcases as well.
Yeah.
yeah,
So, Tessa has a good one. So Kingdom Hearts. We did mention Kingdom. You're not talking Kingdom Hearts.
yeah.
I think Square Enix will be here.
Square Enix is gonna have something. They usually have something
yeah.
at one of these.
And they're not gonna because really the only next big game that they have announced is Dragon Quest VII, and that's coming in January or February, like very
Yeah, we could get like a basically launch trailer for that.
Yeah, exactly. And then I mean, and you have Final Fantasy VII remake for Switch. 2 is arriving in January and Xbox as well. But I
Have
think
they announced Rebirth for Switch 2?
not yet. Oh, they
that?
did. They just
Okay.
didn't give a date. They said the whole trilogy is coming to Switch 2
Yeah,
and
which makes sense.
Xbox. Yeah.
It's a really good handheld series. I played like half a Rebirth on the Portal, and I was
Yeah,
like, "This is great."
I played remake a third of the way through on the Portal, and I stopped playing it for whatever reason. I started getting feelings. I'm like, maybe this will come out on the Switch too, because I've been chipping away at Final Fantasy VII. Like that game's been out forever, right? Since it was on the PS4, like 2019, somewhere around there, 2019, 2020. So I've been holding off on. I've been just chipping away at it here and there, plus a lot of other games coming out too. So yeah.
I got a question. Does Sony ever show their like brand new stuff at the Game Awards, or do they save it for their?
No, they've had Sony stuff show up there. They've had
okay.
Then
I would say Bloodborne is what I'd want to see the most.
What's that?
Yeah,
I would say Bloodborne is what I'd want to see the most.
Oh yeah. Bloodborne would be cool. Everyone keeps saying
maybe.
it. But...
Yeah, I wonder if they would like do a flat out like remake or something rather than just doing a remaster at this point.
I'm not sure if a remaster is possible.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, FromSoft has Duskbloods coming to Switch 2 next year, and so that's that's. But they do work on multiple games at once, right? They're huge. They literally just released the Night Rain DLC, more Night Rain DLC. The next big wave, so they could be showing something. I think if Nintendo shows anything, it's going to be something minor like DLC, like something small DLC wise for Mario Kart or.
I could see that.
I
think the only big thing Nintendo has had at one of these was Joker for Smash Ultimate.
I think
that was
actually you're right.
Thing.
Yeah, right. Yep. Well, they did do the. Didn't they announce the Champions Ballad? I think they announced the Champions Ballad for Breath of the Wild and said, by the way, it's coming out tomorrow or something crazy like that.
Yeah. But Nintendo pretty much just likes their walled garden and keeping things in their directs and stuff. So
totally, especially right now, they've had some weird marketing. Double Fine games we want to hear. Horror game that isn't in space. Dark Pictures.
Double Fine just had Lighthouse come out, which we need to get. I still haven't gotten
it. Yep. Jake in the Discord was on the community. Kind of the community team in the Discord for that as well. So
he made a good point about something about From Software that he expects them to have a Armored Core there for DLC.
That's right. That was the update, right? In the Steam update.
So I could see that being like an expansion or DLC.
Okay.
Most of the stuff that I want to be shown there is so small that I don't think they can afford the trailer for it because I've heard it costs so much money.
Sure. Well, it's very. I know the amount It is very, very, very expensive. That's why they have not only a pre-show now, but they also have Day of the Devs. They also have the cozy. They have like 3 or 4 different cozy indie, the wholesome thing, the Latin gaming showcase. So that's the stuff that doesn't get into the main show floor.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that we don't have as many dark fantasy, maybe probably a Souls-like games that kind of all blur together. Yeah. I'm hoping they back off on that a bit, and maybe I love the anime games, but the anime games also kind of blur together a little bit too. Bandai Namco might have something. They might have show the next because did they announce Tales of Zilla as the next remaster officially? Yeah, that might be there.
It's not. It's way more. I'm not gonna say how much. I think Tyler, you saw in
one of my favorite games.
I mentioned in our secret chats off to the side in the staff.
One of my favorite games of either last year or the year before. They had the option to spend all their marketing money on like a 30-second trailer at the Game Awards, and so they opted to instead go just like a local marketing campaign in their country. So they didn't sell that many of the games.
Well, the thing about the Game Award is you do get eyeballs, and it's fantastic for getting eyeballs out there. But as is the case with this, you have to remain, unless you're a big game or notable developer behind the game, you have to remain in the public eye after the Game Awards, especially if you're a smaller game, because
you can't blow all your money on that.
Exactly. People are fickle. They will forget because you're inundated with news at the Game Awards, and then it's the holidays, right? We're in the middle of Christmas time, New Year, January. We're now at the point in gaming where we get new releases in January.
Yeah, February is always like really big too, because I know
in February,
Resident Evil constantly is like their February series now. I don't know when that happened, but
yeah, exactly. That's when 9 is coming out. So you have to remain in the public discourse. So even if you do put a big trailer out there, unless you're doing more things after that, it's almost not worth it. Jurassic Park was it last year? Jurassic Park? Yeah, I think it was last year.
Oh, yeah.
And we haven't heard anything about it until very recently. I think there was a trailer a little bit ago, like a month or so ago, or some information that came out of it. But that's a huge game on a huge property, and people had forgotten about it, right? People forgot about like Hellraiser, or they forgot about
This is how much I forgot about Hellraiser. Is I thought it was coming out, and then you told me that it was like really far off.
Oh yeah, there's no release date yet.
There's a lot of those games that come out like in the middle of the show when you're kind of like, okay, we've been going on for a while. It's kind of starting to get, and like those are always the ones that like kind of get forgotten about unless it's like a huge drop, because it's like you got to pay the big bucks to either get in. That's like the big surprise in the beginning, or the big surprise at the end.
I mean, Tess says it has to be very memorable for me to remember it, even by the end of the show, and have to be very excited to care. And that's the thing. Yeah, if you're in the beginning or middle of the show, it's over, right? Because people do forget, because everyone's waiting for that big reveal at the end.
There's a lot of
Elden Ring, and we had, so.
Yeah, I'm having to like Google the list of like, okay, well, what was it? Because I don't even remember. Because like, there's gonna be me next week when we're talking about. I was like, well, what was announced at like 2 hours into the show? I don't know.
Well, don't worry, I'm gonna have a big roundup post that's just a list of things that were announced.
Yes, I'll have that on my other monitor over here.
There you go. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. We do enjoy it. We have every time they say world premiere, which Jeff said he wasn't gonna do anymore, and then he didn't do it for like one iteration of Game Awards, and then he brought it back. Take a shot, do this. We'll come up with some fun games prior to that.
What celebrities do we think are going to show up here?
Oh yeah, Timothy Chalamet is not. Although remember how cringe it was that year that Jeff Keighley brought him out, and he's like, "It's a gamer Xbox 323, everybody." And Timothy Chalamet comes out. And it's like,
Rockstar will shadow drop. Rockstar will shadow drop a remaster of their table tennis game.
That was a good game,
and he'll be there for it.
There you go. Yeah. That's actually not a bad idea. A little bit more news. You know how Black Friday is a massive shopping time, right? Everybody goes out, gets those deals. You can go right now and get a PS5 for like $399, and guess what? You can get a Switch 2 for $404 or $450 if you want the Mario Kart World version, because in a weird way, Nintendo is even offering some sales deals on this. However, irregardless of that, Xbox was nowhere to be found because a tiny little Kinect style console, which nobody had been talking about, the NEX Playground, was the number 3 highest selling gaming platform on Black Friday weekend. Boy, is that bad.
I haven't heard about this either.
Yeah, so here's the funny things. Like 14% of the market in the US was the NEX Playground. The Switch 2 had 24%, and the PS5 had 47%. So 47% plus 24% is 3/4 of the market, and then you got another 14% for the NEX, which means the Xbox was 14%. Now, granted, there's going to be some original Switch hardwares sold during that time, maybe like a handful, whatever. And then like the Legion or the ROG Ally and other stuff. So Xbox had a very bad week. But the NEX Playground. So what I've been talking about for this is the video game industry is very, very, very nearsighted when it comes to what it should be talking about. Far too often, the industry only talks about the core, the big 3 gaming, producers out there, the manufacturers, and then AAA games, because that's what gets eyeballs. And then at the same time, we complain that the gaming industry is failing for the smaller developers. It's just it's all mergers and acquisitions, this and that. But nobody ever actually covers the full breadth of the game industry. The NEX Playground is a part of the full gaming industry. The Leap Pad that you guys might have, Tyler. I know we have one still sitting here. Purple Leap Pad that we stuck Dora the Explorer cartridges in. That's a part of the gaming industry. That all needs to be covered, because if you really just focus on the core from a media perspective, you're actually doing a disservice to the whole industry, because then these smaller platforms, these other platforms don't get they may not have the marketing, but they definitely don't get the visibility. And it's not
assuming they even come out like the weird like Atari whatever thing that Tommy Tallarico I think was supposed to do or something.
And it's not it's not our job as press to go out there and do handouts, say we should, nobody's covered this, they need a fair shake. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is,
unless you want to give us a review unit. And
exactly. Is that gaming platforms as a whole are a lot bigger than just the core audience. Now, we can cover the core stuff, like I said, but you're missing out on potentially some fun things. Like one of my favorite things that I saw when the Wii was out, when it first came out, was how many like cheap knockoff Wii consoles there were everywhere. And even right now, there's a ton of these stupid little plug and play handheld, like 5,000 games. You can go to Barnes and Noble and pick up a little console for $29.99. Has 5,000 games on it. They're horrible, right? But guess what? They still are. They're still video games. We can talk about the really cool analog 64. If we're going to talk about that, we probably should devote some time as well to these other platforms. Now, Matt has a good point, right? He said Matt Piscatella and Matt Piscatella is fantastic, by the way. Friend of the show. How's it going, Matt? He said, hey, and Circana is great because they do cover a lot of this stuff. The Circana, this is their bread and butter, right? They're an actual agency that covers sales figures and things like that. So they're not They're analytics. They're not journalists, right?
Yeah.
Matt posted this, and yeah, it would not have gotten any tractions if he hadn't said anything.
I got to point something out here.
Well, all of a sudden, after he posted it on Blue Sky, I saw all of the journalists that follow him and the press that follow him saying, "What the heck is this? What is this? What is this?" I even find, funny enough, I saw a few journalists say, "Yeah, we have this at home." A couple gamer journalists were like, "Yeah, we got this at home. That's wild that it sold that much." It's like, motherfuckers, you have this. Why haven't you written anything about it? So
yeah.
Then all of a sudden you started seeing articles pop up all week long. IGN had it. Game Informer had it. VG Games, all these websites started popping up articles about this thing. And it's like, where were you to actually talk about these products early on? I mean, if you're going to review something on the merits of is it a good product or not, even if they don't send you a review unit as an outlet, go out and buy something. It's at the store. It has been marketed. I have gotten PR for this thing. It's been, by the way, it's been all over CES, and this was previously known as a different, I think it was called the Cube, and no, I'm sorry, that was the Rubik's version. Rubik's has their own that was called the Cube that's coming out as well. So I'm
not even sure like what games are for this. I still haven't even like.
No, I don't know.
Like, I know it sold a lot, but
it sold a ton. It's Connect based. There goes adjusting my camera. Sort of Connect style motion, which, by the way, Connect on the Xbox 360. It was a flawed device, but man, that thing was good. That was still a lot of fun. There was some cool.
It was a good idea.
It was a good idea. There were some cool games on it, even if they were bad. They were still cool ideas. Star Wars Dance Off, whatever that was funny. There was the.
I was gonna say like dancing game sounds great for something like
Dance Central. Like, exactly. Imagine having a dancing game on this thing.
I'm a total.
Let Just Dance come out on the next. But I actually just bought my first Just Dance because my child loved dancing during the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. So that's one of her gifts.
Oh,
and the new one has a Bluey song. So there we go.
There we go.
So
I know a lot.
I mean, I know they've got like the the controls of the Joy-Con and stuff, but like something like this would be perfect for a dancing game.
I know a lot of people hate like motion and gimmicks like this, but I'm a total nerd for things like this because I get bored of playing the same way every time. So like if we were to play like Twilight Princess, I would prefer the Wii version with the different ways to play that game.
Mm-hmm.
And I did like Connect, even though most of it wasn't a problem with the hardware, it was the software.
Yeah, it's true. It was. I mean, the hardware wasn't perfect. It was flawed too. But there was software, and it was a little bit of both. But the Connect sold. Connect sold a lot. So it really wasn't. It was a complete success. The Connect
wasn't it bundled with it?
It was a failure for Xbox One. No, the Xbox One it was bundled.
Yeah. With. Oh, okay.
The Xbox 360 it was separate, and it sold a ton.
It was like near the end of the 360's lifespan too, because they were kind of like, "Ooh, we obviously came out, and then PlayStation did their PlayStation Move stuff, so like they were last on that as well." So
you're getting called out over there, Stefan.
I should point out that my actual Vegas friend is in the chat right now.
Okay. Yep. You have Stefan has a friend.
A friend is not us.
Everywhere. That's the running gag.
That's covering my camera view. There we go.
Yep. But yeah, it's these types of things can be great for families, obviously. And that's a segment that we do not cover enough of. We don't cover family gaming. We don't cover we do at SideQuesting because we've been getting a lot of like family games. I just reviewed Nicktoons last week, right?
Yeah. Hey, if we get a code for that new Bluey game, throw me on there.
For sure. There you go.
I'll review some family games because I have so many nephews and nieces that are getting in that age where they're going to start to playing games.
I reviewed these guys. Don't forget the T-Turtle, the reversible little things here, which are, by the way, like we said last week, they're fantastic and fun to throw at people.
Yeah, it's like a stress ball kind of.
It is, totally is. So anyway, it's a wild phenomenon that this sold it got a lot of press, rightfully so. And I do hope that we as an industry put as much effort into understanding these other platforms and acknowledging them and researching them. And I mean, you're not going to report on the little bad games that are in all these or whatever, but you at least have to say, hey, this is if you're looking for a game console, this has to be one of the ones this type of stuff has to be one of the ones you put on the list, just from that standpoint. So last little bit of news, we have a departure, and that is
I think I know where this is going. Yeah.
Katsuhiro Harada is leaving Bandai Namco. Okay, first of all, which one of y'all is in my freaking Instagram and needs to last longer? What is that? Last longer, stronger erections. Oh God, which one of y'all? That ain't me,
ad
folks. Yeah, I need to get.
Sorry for my cookies.
Ad blocker.
Sorry for my cookies, Dolly. But
and I'm blocking on this site. Why is Google not? Oh, that's weird. Yes, some of your guys' cookies are ruining. This will happen. See, this is what happens when I open Facebook.
It's because Harada just gets laid all the time.
Yeah, and maybe I open Facebook. This is Chrome, by the way. I don't get this on Safari.
This is why I'm afraid to let my nephews and nieces play mobile games, because when the ads come up, you never know what you're gonna get.
For sure. Anyways, Harada is leaving. He is the mastermind of Tekken. He's been working. He's been the guy, right? Is
he going to get Waffle House in?
That's what I was just going to say. Yeah, I was thinking
but he's. I'll share more about my next steps at a later date. It's funny is over the last year and a half or so, a lot of these famed, maybe 2 years at most, a lot of these famed Japanese developers have started leaving their big studios. You saw Capcom departures. You saw, obviously, here at Namco, you saw folks leaving at Sega, at Square Enix, and at Platinum Games. And some of them are starting to join up. They're saying, you know what, we could do our own thing away from this big corporate structure that's kind of become a monster on itself. And I think that's actually very cool. There have been a lot of great companies that have popped up in Japan from all of these, a lot of these departures, a lot of these folks kind of spinning off doing their own thing. So, hey, wherever you go, Harada-san, we're looking forward to whatever cool 3D fighting game that you're working on.
Can I ask something about Tekken?
Yeah.
What sets it apart from other fighting games?
Oh, boy. Oh, Stefan.
No, because I'm not into fighting games. So, is it more technical? Is it?
I'm not either. I don't know.
It's
they have guest characters.
Yeah, they do guest characters. No, it's a where say Street Fighter is probably the most technical, because there are Stefan doesn't know a guy who plays Tekken.
Right.
Where Street Fighter people play that with their eyes closed, because it's very much a kind of pixel perfect dance, right? And movesets, this and that. Mortal Kombat is how many combos and special moves can I pull off, and how fast can I take out a character, type of thing.
And bloody.
Yeah. A lot of style points in that. Tekken is very much it's almost like close combat, grappling, parrying, and really knowing when to. It's really kind of knowing about not necessarily what moves to use, but how to use specific moves.
So there's more strategy to them than just reflexes.
There are, in fact, there'll be times where you're setting up your attack for seconds instead of actually going in and attacking. Okay. Like Street Fighter, sometimes you'll just start launching Hadouken. But in Tekken, you'll kind of sit back and wait and scope and start setting up an attack, start setting up a combo, and then you'll go in and try to execute. So it's a little bit more sparring, I guess, at least from when I played Tekken back in the day, back in the 90s and 2000s and stuff. That's what it was. But and I think it's still that way. It's still it's really solid fighter from that standpoint. So
fighting games are the games I want to be like get the best at.
Yes,
but I've always been the worst at them.
Yes,
Yeah,
and to quote Ben, he says the 3D movement, which is huge. Like the Tekken is 3D movement. You're sidestepping. You're, Eddie Gordo.
So there's like foregrounds and backgrounds that you move
it,
through. There's parallaxing or
no. Like it's actually a 3D. It's a 3D
environment.
Okay. It's a 3D environment, which you don't have in other, a lot of these other fighting games. A lot of these games
it's not
more,
like Power Stone though, is it?
No, it's sort of like an arena style fighter in a way, not ranged stuff like you'd find with Dragon Ball, but it's definitely you're more. It's more movement. It's more moving around a battlefield rather than while still locked on, rather than side view. Anyway, so Mortal Kombat 2, kid. There you go. So yeah, Harada's leaving there. Hey, good for you, Harada. Where you go, you go. So let's see here. Oh, and I'm
It'd be really interesting if he doesn't even make a fighting game at wherever he is next. He just moves on to like, I don't know, a platformer or something.
Right. So time to move on to what we've been playing, and I want to start with our guest today because
no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure at all. No pressure at all. Wanted to let you know that actually, you know what? Give me 1 second. Talk amongst yourselves. I will return in just one. Talk about Harada Sonic.
It'd be funny if he came back with do you know there's a Street Fighter platformer action game on the NES? It's like super hard.
That sounds interesting because it's all the like Mortal Kombat kind of like weird spin-offs that like I've been most interested in, like Shaolin monks and stuff.
My dog is with my mom right now, by the way. Yeah, she was wondering.
Okay. Yeah, my cat wandered in pre-show, and I think she's left out entirely, so she's not going to make an appearance, I don't think. Oh, well.
My dog needs to be by someone now that our other dog has passed away. So it's like she lost that, like, the other one was like the pack leader, so she was always with her. So now she's confused in her old age.
Just like me, confused in old age. No, we're getting the notice that schools are closed tomorrow because of the absolutely crappy weather we have. Anywho, let's get into what we've been playing, and you're actually reviewing a game for us right now.
Yes.
And I wanted to go over this game, let you kind of talk through it a little bit about where you're at, what you're feeling, and then
it'll be interesting because it's similar to games like Hades, which I've not really played before. So it would be interesting to get your opinion on Hades and stuff for that.
So what's the game you've been playing?
Pantaray. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, it's Greek, I think. But it is a roguelite. It's not a roguelike. You every run you get like skill points that you can put into your like different branches, and when you die you'll always have that like right there and stuff you were seeing. But the thing about this game that makes it interesting is the time abilities. So you can see him I don't know if you could find it on there, but like you attack enemies normally, but sometimes they'll put like a what's called a chrono shield around them. And you, if I attack an enemy 3 times when they have a shield up, and then I hit the reverse button, I'll go back through those attacks in reverse, and that will actually damage their shields to get rid of them. And there are a lot of time abilities where I'm using all my face buttons and all the triggers at once on the Xbox. Other things you're doing is like reversing objects times to activate traps for enemies, or to like a bridge is broken, you can bring that back up. The level designs are not randomized in their layout, but like what enemies you might fight are a little bit. So but I wouldn't really call this procedural like a normal roguelite. And right there he was doing a teleport type thing, which you can teleport over like gaps and stuff. So there's a little bit of a Metroidvania thing when you get new abilities that like in each run you can get to different areas.
And it's all, you said they're not like procedurally generated worlds. So
Yeah,
you're kind of running the same area over and over again.
And so before coming on, I booted it up and played through again because the other day I had gotten a new ability which let me do the teleport thing, and it opened up a whole new way to go down, and I just got destroyed because I was not ready for like that new path. The problem with this game is it's very unique, which will get me through it, but it's lacking so much polish where I've died so many times due to, like, for a lack of a better word, jank, or like where enemies, you can tell they're not hitting you, but the collision detection is so those big guys you see, yeah, right there.
Some of those guys there,
yeah. Every once in a while they'll go like this and knock you, and you can tell like they're missing you by feet, but they're still hitting you and knocking you back. I'm not sure how much this game cost or anything, but like it's hard for me to see people going to this with Hades out there, which I feel like might be like a similar price. I hope people get to experience it though, just because it did give me some Prince of Persia vibes.
Oh, nice.
Because of like the time manipulation. And so right now I have 3 abilities, and I still have 1 more, which that might just be too much. The only thing I could see them being able to use on the controller is, like in God of War where you click the 2 sticks down to activate the rage. I think that's the only other viable thing they could do, without making it like too cluttered. But right now it's like, I remember Quest or Zach showing a picture of his claw hand with like with certain things, and that's what this game gives me vibes of sometimes.
Oh, interesting. So you're saying there's like definitely there are far too many controls issue.
Yeah, but
accessing
that could also just be a me thing, like a skill thing too. Like, so I notoriously don't like Metroid Dread. I've talked about this, and it's not that I think it's necessarily a bad game. It's just not for me because the skill ceiling is so much higher than the other Metroid games.
Those Emmy areas are hard. I've never finished it, but like those Emmy areas, I'm like, I don't know, man.
And so when I got to Creed, and that's when you get like the missiles, I believe, if I remember right. Yeah. And I was like and like with the grappling, there was so much I had to do with like buttons in my hands were cramping, and this is that. But like, there's an audience for this that doesn't mind that type of finger ambidexterity or whatever you want to call it.
And that's interesting that you mentioned that, because there's certainly been there's been like 2 paths right now for these style of roguelikes, and one is, let's make it extremely accessible. I just reviewed one a couple weeks ago that was that way, a little bit more accessible dungeon crawling style, and reduce the amount of buttons you have to worry about and controls. And then you have something that's maybe a little more like this one, the other angle, which is a little bit more not complex, but they want to give you a lot to be able to do. And it feels like what you're saying is that, unfortunately, by giving you a lot to do, it's almost, what do they call, analysis paralysis, right? There are too many controls, and maybe do you think that's like affecting not just the controls aspect, but what you might want to do next, or like, do you get to that? Do you get to that feeling at all, or
so
no?
I don't know if this is my autism or not, but I have this condition with certain things. If there's too much information on screen of like anything, like let's say if I'm like staring at a spice rack trying to find one spice, I shut down.
That's called analysis paralysis. And
Okay,
welcome to anybody over 30.
And
Okay,
I don't think that's an autism thing. I think that's just
okay.
Adult thing.
But
thing.
I've had this for my whole life. It's like a
Sure.
learning disability type thing, and this definitely has that vibe where it affects me. Like one of the things I can do is in this game is the teleport thing. You hold the R1 button, and then there's a circle that comes like a perimeter, and you can by hitting the right analog stick in a direction, you'll put like a hologram of yourself out that way, and you can put multiples of these. And then when you let go of the R1 button, those are still there, and then you blink to them by like using the analog stick to tell you which ones you want to teleport to. But the fact that I can have like multiples of that at once and still be doing the rewind and the freezing, it's so much.
That's a lot to juggle. Oh, interesting. Yeah.
But it's despite it being very complex, it is accessible because of you don't have to worry about remembering paths, and you make quite a bit of progress with the skill points you get with each run. Like have either of you played Dead Cells?
Yes. Yep.
I felt the grind in that was terrible. For like it took so long to progress with like the stats with each time you died. This is the total opposite of that. So I think they knew they had to balance it. And I mean I'm liking it enough that I see myself finishing it. The only other thing I haven't tried in it is they have like an arena thing that you can do, and I'm not sure if there's rewards for it, but like that could be a good way to like kind of fine tune your skills.
Yeah, it might be good combat practice. I'm not the hugest fan of arenas in games, like the Kingdom Hearts games. Like almost all
it's
have
not that
arenas.
type of arena. I think it's just more like you just go down an elevator off, and then you just fight. I don't know if you saw, but can you go back to the animated cinematics?
It'll load up here in a second. Yeah.
Okay. They're really nicely drawn, but there's no dialogue in them. Like the story is so hard to follow. It's like you're making really up your mind of what's happening, and what's weird is you don't get new dialogue, or you don't get dialogue. How do I put this? So when I come to when I came to like the first boss area, if I came to NPCs through that before that, they would always give me dialogue. But when I come to them again on the second run, they just say like beep boop or just and that's it. And so the further you get into the game, it feels like there's less story because with each run you're going that much further without dialogue, so it feels empty.
Oh yeah, so it doesn't like repeat like the dialogue and stuff that you've seen in previous runs.
No, it doesn't, or it doesn't really give you new ones. And because the map is the same, it starts to feel repetitive.
Yeah, I was gonna say because I like the idea of like not having procedurally generated areas because I'm usually not into that. But I can see why it would get repetitive doing runs like that.
Yeah, I don't mind procedural generated like things. It just has to be simple enough for me to like get used to it. Like I love Bloodborne's Chalice dungeons, and like those are procedural, but they follow kind of like a laid out formula where you're never gonna really get lost in them. It's not like something like totally different each time.
Yeah.
I wish this had done that a little bit more, I think.
Okay. How far did you say you think you're in?
I think I like
it's always hard. It's always hard to ask this question because you really can't tell until you complete a game.
So like,
especially if you get it pre-release because nothing's out.
Yeah.
If we just go percentage of like, not how much time I put into it, but like act wise or something, I would say I probably have one more boss, and because I still have the one ability. I probably have two main bosses because usually you get one, I think, if I remember right, after killing a boss, and I have one more ability.
Okay.
So after getting that ability, there's probably like the end boss, and there might be end game content.
Got it. Okay.
Or post game content, I mean.
Got it. Cool. Well, I'll be curious to see when you finally do get to, you know, that ending point, what your kind of final thoughts are.
Yeah, I think that's what makes. I feel like that's what makes and breaks a lot of rogue.
Yeah, it does.
Type games.
How it finishes off. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Totally. Yep. I played A Million Depth for review, and I played that over Thanksgiving weekend, and very cool game that had a very slow kind of opening sequence, and you can actually complete the game in like, I think it was like 8 hours, 7 hours, if that much, but it just took a long time, and I wasn't quite sure how it would wrap up until when you finish a game. Then I was like, oh shit, okay, everything kind of fell into place as to what this game was about. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's almost like sometimes, especially with these roguelites, we need to understand how they finish. Otherwise, you know, does it actually resolve the reasoning for the gameplay? Does it tie together, or is it just an ending that is, you know, feels stuck on, which it does happen quite often.
I should point out how we were talking earlier about me commenting on playing unfinished games and stuff. Zero watched me play this for a bit, and he made a comment. He just randomly said, "This doesn't seem finished."
Zero.
He's a bad influence.
He's everybody's bad influence. Yeah. But you've been playing another game. Actually, you wanted to talk about it real quick so we can.
Yeah.
This game doesn't have a title. Oh, go ahead, Tyler. You were say something?
Oh no, I'm just scrolling I was actually just looking at their Steam page. We did talk about you did mention you didn't know how much it was. It is $16.99 according to Steam.
Okay, so it's not too far from Hades. Hades is what, $20?
Yeah.
It's not the same as like Adventure coming out on the same day as Hollow Knight or anything like that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. It is. It's just so like Hades reset everything about indie gaming for like a whole half a year now.
Hades
We're going to be
like
comparing it. Yeah.
Hades is like the Clair Obscure equivalent of like JRPGs for roguelikes. But the other game that I've been playing is called An Untitled Story. I've played this numerous times. It's from Maddie Thornton. They made Celeste. And so this was way back before Celeste. It's free to download. It's a Metroidvania platformer, and there's so much to it. And I started replaying this because I wanted to do an archipelago play with some people, which is a randomizer, and it randomizes several, like whatever games you want, and it spreads the content out between other people's games. So you have to play together to like. It's very hard to explain, but I'm trying to get familiar with the game again. So if I'm playing a randomizer, it won't be as hard. Is there a way you can like move forward like
I don't know why
a couple minutes?
There you go. Let's put it over here.
So you play as an egg that falls out of a tree, and
we're watching a Let's Play, by the way, because there is no trailer for this game.
Just a nice little long play.
Yep.
Here's some good design right here. Is that cannon shoots that, and it tells you can shoot them to actually activate them, but you have to get these upgrades to actually be able to shoot or be able. There's like red icons or like that you can jump on, and then they bounce you up, so you can keep doing like your double jump and stuff. And I wish they showed the map itself. But what's really funny, if Zero was watching me play this, and when I hatched, it totally looks like you're a certain white supremacist.
Oh, geez.
Oh, aha.
I was like, wait, did they really make me look like that? And Zero was like, no, and he's like, oh wait, maybe it's not meant to. It's just kind of weird, but
Sure.
But this is
It
the
made you look
map.
like JJ. No, I'm just kidding.
So if you were to go to like, like all the way towards the end, you would see how big the map is. It's really big. But there's eventually you can talk to like a ton of different NPCs. You can JJ would love this. It has a Sakaban mini games. And like, so the blue things those are your abilities that you get. So that did a double jump height upgrade. It wasn't double jump. It just makes you jump higher with double jump. And there's each ability and upgrade you get, there's higher, better versions of it. What's interesting here is it has the Metroid type of death thing. Except when you die, you lose your shell, not your armor.
Okay.
But yeah, I wanted to share this because this is probably one of my all-time favorite games, and it is free, and I highly recommend people playing it. Just download it. It's just a couple hundred megabytes.
Yeah, I
It's
love the like old Flash game vibe. It's like I want to be the guy, kind of.
Yeah, or like you remember like was it the Flash Pants Adventures or something like that?
Yeah, there's a bunch of those I'd play in school back then.
I would love to go back and just review some of those Flash games that hit it really big and see like how do they was it just me back as a kid thinking these were awesome, or were they actually really good?
Right.
Yeah, right, exactly. I always enjoyed these silly Flash games.
Had you heard of this before?
Me, no, never.
Oh yeah, you would love it then.
Cool.
Especially if you like Celeste.
Yeah, definitely. And I was gonna say you could see some of the beginnings of the ideas of Celeste in something like this. Like,
yeah. And I've always liked this more than Celeste because it was more Metroidvania style, while Celeste was more just really hard. It was more Super Meat Boy style. I feel like just
in certain ways. Yeah.
Each little area was its own thing.
Let's move on. Tyler, you and I both have been playing something.
Yep, the big obvious one.
Yeah, the big obvious one. Kirby. No, just kidding. I'll let you talk a little bit more because I haven't put a ton of hours into it. I've been trying to catch up on some of a few games. But I do have stuff to say about this. So, and that game is obviously Metroid Prime.
Yep.
Quattro, as I like to say.
Four.
Beyond. It is out on Nintendo platforms, surprisingly.
Yeah, I've been a little bit ahead because I actually got my copy a day early. Thanks, Amazon.
Oh, okay. That's right. You did. Yeah.
I think it's the first time that's happened to me. Usually it's late. One time for Persona 5, I think they got here at like 8-9 o'clock that night. They were super late. But no, I got this one a day early. So I've been able to get pretty far in. I've also been playing some other games. I haven't put the most time into it, but I'm in the snow area to kind of give a non-spoiler kind of idea of where I am. It's a Metroid Prime game. I've been really enjoying it. It is definitely just kind of another one of those. I've definitely been seeing some people kind of mentioning like, yeah, it's not revolutionary. It's not the biggest innovation on the series. It's just another really good one. And I think that is, from what I've played so far, kind of a good explanation of it.
So what's interesting to that point, if you look at the progression of Metroid Prime games, 1 to 2, like 1 is just Samus in the world.
Yeah.
Like 1 is probably, if not the greatest game of all time, right up in the top 3. And the remastered edition is that much better.
I think it's the greatest adaptation of a game for sure.
Yeah,
of
there
like
you
an
go.
older game.
Yeah. And the Metroid Prime 2 involves more story, more characters, more lore, a little bit. There's actually like you get to Metroid Prime 3 and there's much more talking in there. There's more interaction. There's much more story. And it does progress more and more. The Prime games, the 3D games aren't the horror singular Metroid games the 2D games are. There are 5 2D games, right? And they're all it's just Samus. There's maybe a couple little points of like chatter here and there, but it's a solo experience. The Prime games, they've been becoming more and more you're a part of a greater thing, right? In the middle of a war that's going on, essentially.
The intro especially was very much
totally.
like
It was Halo.
It
It
felt
felt
like
like Halo.
Halo-ish. Yeah.
Now,
I kind of like that vibe, but it's
and I guess the point I'm trying to make is if you played this right after Metroid Prime 3, you'd say, "Oh yeah, this is exactly the game that should have come after Metroid Prime 3." The problem was that it's like 10, 12, 14 years too late.
Yeah.
And for, obvious reasons, it was rebooted probably multiple times, but they kept this as a sequel to Metroid Prime 3 and not a new Metroid Prime game. So going into this, I completely agree with you. The amount that I've put into it, getting the bike, I'm at that point right now and kind of moving around, is, man, this really feels like a Metroid Prime game, and it's not reinventing a whole ton. It's just kind of adding stuff, which all Metroids kind of do that in a way. Metroid games will just add something and then they'll never do it again in a future Metroid game, even like a direct sequel, right?
And that's definitely the psychic abilities in this one, which
and by the way, Viola, we're never going to see that bike ever again.
Yeah. And I think that might be my biggest complaint with like the stuff I've seen so far is like the psychic abilities are kind of just reskins of abilities that we have.
Sure.
Like the space jump boots are now the psychic boots, and now the only extra thing they do is they let you stand on psychic platforms, and I'm like, this is just the same freaking thing we've had. Yeah.
Is it kind of like the X-ray, or wait, not X? In Metroid Prime, what's the last sensor you get?
I think it is X-ray because you got like thermal on it. And I will say there's only been the one visor so far, which is your scan. Which then I do like that transition of like you have the scan visor before you get like your psychic abilities, and then it's the psychic visor, and Samus just has her hand up like this the whole time.
But God, this is gorgeous. But first of all, holy crap, this game is stunning. Like, you know what? You guys made a Switch 2 game look like it's definitely next gen.
It is an impressively good looking game, like from a technical standpoint as well, because the quality mode is 4K 60. That's amazing for a game like this. And 1080p 60 in handheld mode. And like you don't notice the difference at all. And the quality mode is 120. Like I didn't actually think any Nintendo games would try to hit 120 FPS. I thought it was just them bragging and welcome tour.
I've heard really good things about this on the OG Switch as well. It's like, hey, they were actually able to make it run really well on the original Switch, which I guess that's one kudos to the team for making a Switch game look this good, because this really is just a Switch game that's been sort of enhanced to run on the Switch 2 instead of downported. So
and I hear the Switch version runs pretty good as well. Yeah, the HDR, there's HDR. And I think it looks really good. I don't have like the best eye for this kind of stuff. I've got like one of the really nice like LG C series TVs. I forget exactly which one. But the HDR looks good from what I can tell. And it's just a good looking game all around. And I think it might be the first game I'm playing in quality mode, because like you can hit 60 frames per second. Why not? Like 120, it's like maybe too much. Trails in the Sky also had a 120 frames per second option, and I'm sticking with the 60 on that one, because it's like, so long as it's not 30. And I'm not the biggest stickler about 30 either. If the game is a good 30, I don't care. But whatever. I don't really need anything above 60. Really, I don't know. Maybe I'll change my mind in a few years. But
right. Great suit design in this, by the way. I will say this.
It's a really
my god, I
cool
know.
one.
There's a
That's the
lot of
main
great.
reason why I got the amiibo. Was I just love the suit as well. And the suit and the amiibo functionality is like whatever. This
Except
one
for the
lets you,
audio. The audio.
yeah, which apparently you can unlock that at 100%
Yes.
scan completion.
Yeah,
Which is,
but that should have been there right off the bat.
Yeah,
they should have had. It should have been there off the bat, and then when you use the amiibo or do 100% scan, you should have gotten like a Jimmy Buffett version of like driving.
Just a remix version.
This one doesn't do the radio. This one lets you change your bike's color, but you still have to unlock the different colors. So nice. It's like every 50 kilometers you drive, I think you unlock a new color. And then the first one I got was a really ugly brown, and I'm like, oh god, these all gonna suck. Because the default purple's fine. I actually don't know if I would want to change it, but I will keep scanning it and seeing what I get. So,
how do you feel about the controls? Like, have you messed around with the mouse mode at all? Have you tried motion stuff? I
have been sticking with like the default, like, just normal control. I very briefly, I was kind of playing in handheld in the bed, and I did like break off the Joy-Cons to see how the mouse would feel. Not super great on like bed sheets or whatever. I was like, I thought very briefly about like grabbing my mouse pad and just like bringing it to bed and seeing, maybe I'll try that. I don't know.
So I did them. I was playing in bed the other night, and that first boss that you get, that you come to on the kind of where the initial battle's taking place. Yeah. And you see, it's just this boss gets a Metroid attached to it and kind of enhances the boss, and it's got glowing spots. Yep. And you could tell right away, it's like, okay, I can do this normally, or let me, I know they made this and updated it so that it works with the mouse. So I did that. I was lying in bed. My wife's asleep next to me. I click off the one Joy-Con. I put it down on the flat sheet between us. Because listen, nobody cuddles after you get married. Like maybe the first year you cuddle. After that, you're the farthest parts of the bed, which leaves a nice space in between to do activities with. So I had the mouse down there.
You're even allowed to still be in bed. I got kicked out of bed because I was breathing too loud during Digimon last night.
So I'm sitting in bed holding the Switch 2, and I'm using the mouse on the sheet, and it did make. Now, granted, it on a hard level surface, definitely gonna be better. But it was easier to kind of aim and click those click the the gyro.
I've been using the gyro with the Pro controller in those moments where it was a very brief moment where I tried the mouse controls. I don't think my wife even noticed. She might have even been awake. She might have still been reading, but I just kind of clicked it. I didn't even get any
rage
combat.
Awaken.
Yeah. But maybe I'll try it a little bit more just to see how it feels. I don't think the Joy-Con feels super comfortable as a mouse. I did see JJ like 3D printed like a little like mouse.
My first 3D printing project too.
Yeah,
I did that.
I was like, that's actually a good idea.
I got this here. I haven't been able to use it.
Ooh, yeah.
There you go.
Maybe it also helps if I have like the little like default bumpers that they include that are just sitting on my desk that I've never actually used. But no, I should check that out sometime just because they put a lot of work into that, and especially because in handheld mode, I don't particularly like how the right analog stick is directly under the face buttons. That is a good point. Crampy.
Yeah.
It felt a little bit better. I was playing in handheld mode a little bit, like kind of in like a lull moment when my kid was watching Bluey, and like that felt a little bit better. But like for some reason, the first time I tried, I was like, God, this is not super comfortable. It's kind of what inspired me to break off the mouse mode for a little bit. But yeah, maybe I'll give it a little bit of a shot next time I play in handheld just to see how it feels. But I do think primarily I'll be sticking with the, regular controls with some gyro to like because that feels good because like you can lock on and like that's fine for like 90% of the time, but like little jolt to the controller will like unlock Samus and you can aim with gyro or the stick and that.
I like the gyro aiming on the doors because there's like those moments where they have like the four locks on the doors. So you lock into the center and then just a little bit of gyro. It's like click, 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 like instead of like trying to slide the analog stick over, it's like quick. So there are definitely some little advantages. I learned to appreciate the gyro on Splatoon. Oh man, it's like Splatoon with the gyro that's the way to get those minuscule. And by the way, another one that was really good with the gyro, and this goes way back, was Call of Duty on the Wii U. The Call of Duty games use gyro on the gamepad, and so you could hold and aim and ever so slightly go tap tap. Got him. Just perfect little aiming. So yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
and the bike has been fine as well. Like it hasn't been like it's not been like a huge deal for me. I will say because everybody's been emphasizing like, hey, get green crystals. Apparently, if you don't, you have to kind of like get a bunch for the end games. I've been trying to make sure I get a lot. I've been having a weirdly hard time, like with a cluster of green crystals, hitting them all in one pass. So I end up having to like boom and then come back through.
Yeah.
And like the boost and slide will kind of like get them all, but then you have to like let the boost recharge. That's the other thing this amiibo does, I think, is like let your boost recharge faster until you leave Soul Valley for a day. But I'm always like, I don't want to waste it because I'm probably gonna leave Soul Valley in 5 minutes. I found like
get the NF.
Here's a question for you. Do you think that with all the NPCs that are talking, do you think they should have made her emote more?
It does feel kind of weird with her not responding to them. Because I will say that the NPCs have not bothered me at all. Like I actually kind of like Miles. Miles is kind of like if I was in the situation.
That would be me too. Yeah.
But and I've just now kind of I think met like some other characters that are gonna kind of be in his place as well. I will say, I mentioned this in our before we went live as well. Every time I've actually tried to like hit X on the map screen and like tried to get help or whatever, has been like communication not available. So like I don't know what's going on there. They're not a very great hint system. But I haven't been bothered by their chattiness at all. There was like one time that I like got like a chip for something and I had to like actually go back to Miles in the forest area, and then he gave me like a new weapon. He was able to convert it, so it's like that's fine. It's like if I have to check in with him every now and then, it's not that big of a deal to drive over there.
I heard people were complaining about like having to revive him, but that's like only one small part of the game.
There was like one like escort mission near the beginning in the forest, and I'm like, I don't even think he went below half.
The mild stuff is really just sort of a tutorial. That's really all. That's the whole first second, just kind of get you, which is like it's hand-holdy, and Nintendo loves to get real hand-holdy with some of its games, like really early on. They'll go away from it and then they'll bring it roaring back. It's like even Kirby Air Riders has some hand-holding to it too. So initially,
but there is definitely like a bit of an awkwardness where it does feel like Samus is kind of being like really rude, just sort of like staring at him while he's like talking.
Well, there's in that first scene, like essentially like the two first people you speak to in the game. So your ship comes down, you're walking around this corner, you shoot a couple of the pirates or whatever, and you walk up and there's these two people standing by a doorway that you have to get into. And you talk to the first dude and he's like, man, these space pirates, you know exactly what they're here for. And I'm paraphrasing. And then you turn and the girl that's there, you talk to her and she goes, I have no idea who these were, and I don't even know what they're here for. And I'm like, what? That was like an awkward. Wait a minute, the guy just said the thing. But I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying it.
Yeah,
I saw someone mention that we'll never see the thumbs up again because that was from Other M. Yeah, and so they can't bring it back now.
Yeah, were you gonna say, Tyler?
One of my favorite gags with Miles actually was like whenever you scan him, because obviously like I forgot how much scanning anxiety Metroid Prime gives me. Like I'm always just like,
if there's anything green, you're like, I'm scanning right away.
Yeah. But like I scanned Miles, and like after I finished reading his entry, I was like, did you just scan me? What did it say? And I'm like, yes. Great, tell me what it said.
That's funny actually.
Yeah.
It's funny out of the this is probably my, the Switch 2, Donkey Kong, and then probably this are two of like, surprisingly, like my two favorite like Switch 2 sort of exclusives. So
how would you say it stacks up to? Okay, the first one's obviously the best, but how would you compare it to the second and third one?
I personally, I love. Well, go ahead, Tyler. Have you played the others?
I never finished
Okay.
3.
I
But
don't think
I
too many
did
people
finish
did
2 once.
because it was forced
long.
motion controls. It was forced.
Yeah.
And it
motion
was
controls,
long.
too. Yeah.
2, I enjoyed the Dark World stuff quite a
Same.
bit. I actually kind of like
Same
that
here.
light Dark World stuff. And whenever I finished it, it was the Wii version, so I didn't have all of the like boss battle over tuning garbage that the GameCube version has. But I enjoyed 2 as well, maybe a little bit more than 1 because I actually like the increased story stuff in these
same here.
games. It's actually one of those things where it's like whenever they do a Metroid movie, that might be the one I'm most excited for. Because I really want to see what they do with that world and kind of expanding on it more. I know people hate Other M. I never actually got around to playing it, but like I didn't hate the idea
bad.
of Other M.
It's not
like
a bad game.
Link.
It's not a bad action game. It's just a bad story.
I do think the localization was also pretty bad because I have seen like reports of like some of the like weirdness with Samus and stuff is kind of more like a localization thing. But
yeah,
I don't know. I think this is like a really good one. Maybe it's like next to 1. I haven't played them enough to really like have like a really definitive ranking. I need to go back and play that remaster of 1. I really wish they would do a remaster 2 and 3.
I mean, people thought there were going to be full remasters of 2 and 3. I think they're just. I think they have them. I don't think they're remasters. I think they're just they're just going to port those over. I don't think you need. I'd love to. Maybe far down the line they'll remaster, but like I said, I think they'll just port them over. To be honest, I think what they'll do is port them over as a separate thing with like a couple little tiny updates, maybe not even remaster level. It's like they might just clean them up a little bit, and then they'll release the versions on the GameCube.
Yeah, I was gonna say I know 2 is gonna come to the GameCube NSO because that's exactly what happened to Wind Waker.
Yep. So I've been playing a couple games. One is I'm holding on to play this multiplayer with JJ, but I won't get into that part. But I love me some Marvel, and whatever you want to say about Marvel, was a part of my youth in the 80s with comic books, in the 90s the comic books and TV shows. And then in the arcades, I loved going to the arcades and playing all the different Marvel games, fighting games, and sort of the brawlers and all that kind of stuff. And I think the actual Marvel-based fighting games started showing up in the latter half of the 90s. And if there was a Marvel game, I was a sucker for it. So it's been a while since there has been a tried and true Marvel brawler. Like there have been obviously Marvel side-scrolling experiences out there, but they announced they being Tribute Games. Let me make sure I got that right. Invasion. So Tribute Games announced Marvel Cosmic Invasion, and me being a lover of Shredder's Revenge, immediately thought, okay, they're tackling another game, another IP from my childhood ish, and bringing it over into the sort of retro classic gameplay brawler, and they did. And so I had a chance to try out Cosmic Invasion way back at Summer Game Fest, and really liked what I played there. The couple levels we had. Game is now in full release. I'm playing it on Steam. I think JJ is also playing it on Steam. And it is, this is an arcade game, like straight up arcade game. Ooh, and what I mean by that is it's short, it's tight, it moves very quick. The story that's in it is meant to keep you going. It's not like you're there to analyze any deep character
not Insomniac Spider-Man.
No. But it's made for multiplayer. It's quarter crunching. If it had quarters, it really is a 90s era game. And the Shredder's Revenge was a lot like that too. I think this a little more so. So at its base is sort of a side-scrolling brawler. You can kind of see it in the video here. And you get to select out of a bunch of different Marvel characters. But it also mixes in a lot of what made those mid-90s games cool. This is, in fact, I think you could it's Marvel Cosmic Invasion, mid-90s Marvel arcade game could be the subtitle. That's all these things. So it's it's what made those games so enjoyable, right? It's like the whole of that era, I guess you could say. So typical brawler design, and that it you're moving on a single plane. You got characters and enemies that come at you. You got some light platforming you might do here and there. You can eat trash can pizza, which is always fun. Has a wild comic book story, but it's very loose. Like I said, it's not going to be a deep story. It's just, let's get a bunch of characters together and have you play with your toys. And it's kind of like a way to really think about this, is that it's playing with Marvel toys. What's great is that it's a lot of these lesser known characters that you have. So that Marvel put together, you have Cosmic, Ghost Rider, you have Nova, you have like Storm wasn't super well known for a while. You have Rocket Raccoon, you have She-Hulk, you have not Captain Marvel, you have Silver Surfer, like a lot of these characters that have been at different levels of popularity, never been like the most popular characters. And I thought that was really great.
Is there really a tag team system in that?
So let me get to that. So it has that fighting combo system, right? So you can do juggles, you can switch up moves, you can do punches and light moves, and then switch to a more powerful move. You can do grabs, you can do flips, you can do throws, you can do multi-level. So you're either low ground, or some of the characters can fly. Some characters can grab and do sort of close proximity melee attacks. Some can do these ranged attacks. Some can zip around the screen. There's a lot that each character does. And it has that ability to tag in. And that's that whole fighting game aspect of the Marvel games. Again, this is like Marvel 1990 games. Like takes all that we liked about those games and rams them into one product. So you can switch characters on the fly. You select two characters. And then switch back and forth. It's great. It's also got some kind of modern touches too. Like you have some branching paths in the storyline, so it's not just a direct brawler like those arcade games. It does have those modern touches where, like I said, you can choose to go to the heli carrier, or you can go to Genoa or whatever.
So it's like different full stages. You can kind of like branch
different full stages, right? And so you can go to a bunch of places. So and I love that it had like,
my cat opened the door that wide. Sorry.
I love that it's extremely lore accurate to the character designs and their attacks. Like from Venom, you can see it in the video here. Venom can open his jaws like really wide, which you wouldn't get that in the brawlers and the fighting games back in the day. You would get you wouldn't get stuff that modified the character designs all that much. You'd get things that were, projectiles or whatever. So this does do a lot of cool, like 90s Marvel cartoon animation built into it. Very lore accurate from that standpoint. The attacks as well. Every character is extremely different from each other. And you will it's very easy to find a main and kind of sink into a main. And that's what I did. Just like a fighting game. It's like I gravitated towards one or two characters. My main was Wolverine, because loved the ability to break defenses. Like if someone's blocking, Wolverine can leap on them and attack through that defense, because Wolverine has an adamantium claws, right? Not Wolverine, although Wolverine is not great on range attacks. So you get a character like my secondary was Storm. So I would have Wolverine do the close proximity stuff. And if somebody was coming from the other side, quickly switch to Storm, so I could launch either a range attack or fly over quickly or do some stuff. So, and you can do combo moves too, which is really cool. Like the characters will work together and do these interesting like combo attacks. But yeah, they're different enough where each one has their own really kind of cool capabilities and stuff. So, and you can, it also has that like character growth aspect. So you're constantly updating levels and you get one more health or one more attack or whatever. So the more you play these characters, the more you develop them, and you come back to them later on, and you can have almost, I don't want to say an OP character, but does at times feel slightly overpowered in a fun way, because that's what we wanted out of arcades. We wanted to blow up enemies and just knock things out.
Is the campaign different for each character, or
No,
is it the same one?
Nope.
Okay.
So you can, as you go from level to level, you can select new characters, and you want to, because again, you'll have, you want to balance whether you have either it's a close or proximity, whether it's a flying character or, a ground-based attacker or a teleporter or whatever. Some do. The levels themselves don't necessarily affect which character you get on there, but the types of enemies do. And so, you will switch in between levels to whatever you want. Nothing changes story-wise. It's got a really nice cinematic story that kind of plays out through, in between levels and stuff. But yeah, it's a really fun game. It's just short. I think completed in like, I don't know, a couple hours maybe. It's
Are they adding more characters?
No, from what we found, this is it. What they said, this is but granted, this is tribute games, and if you played Shredder's Revenge, they've added stuff later on, but and DLC and stuff. I don't know what the plans are for this. They haven't said if there are any plans. But what's there is good. It's a full game. It's a full experience. It's just short. Being able to go back, I think the amount of characters is great, because when you do replay these levels with friends, if you're doing multiplayer or whatever, you'll kind of approach them different ways with each character. And I appreciate that, because the Ninja Turtle games, they're all still the same size, and they're all, the swords or the sticks or whatever, things are pretty much the same length, and you only have minor differences. There are big differences in this game. Like, there are completely different characters, and that I think will make the experience unique as you play it over and over again, because you want to see the different move sets, the different finishers, different special moves, and things like that each character can do. So it's built off of Shredder's Revenge, like I said, which is excellent, but with it's definitely a little bit more technical gameplay, because you do have those combos. You do have the ability to kind of mainline one or two characters. And I guess it's much more mechanically sound in that way than other kind of genre games. It does rely a lot on, I guess you could say, on how we play rather than just button mashing, right? So your tagging is a big part of it. Like, I found myself tagging often, and it did feel like a fighting game at times. So I think that was really cool. It's fun, fulfilling, brawling experience. For Marvel fans, it's going to be great, because hasn't been a Marvel game like this in forever. It's just ever so small, weirdly, by comparison to the giant universe of characters, because it is very hyper focused and on the shorter side. But I did play it on a bigger screen. That was cool. It looks gorgeous on a giant TV. I played a lot on a Steam Deck, and it functioned great on my Steam Deck. Like I said, I played it on a giant screen TV, and I played it on my laptop, and it looked great. It looked almost the best on a giant TV, because just big, bold, retro pixels with a lot of cool sound effects.
Is this one of those arcade games where you can keep doing continues?
I want to say yes, because I didn't find myself dying ever in this game.
Because I would die a lot in this game, because I'm just bad at it. So I'm wondering, I would have fun. I would play it if I knew that I could keep putting in the fake quarters.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even quarters. It's just like you get to a level, and then you can just keep trying that level over and over again until you get through, essentially. From my,
and I don't know if you, I don't think you said you played multiplayer yet with
No,
JJ,
not yet.
That's my. Okay, I was gonna say, do we have like an idea of like how revives work, kind of building off?
Yeah, that's what I want to find out. Yeah, for sure. So I think that's my next step. Is to play the multiplayer. But single player wise, this is my review. I really enjoy it. This is going to be in my rotation. I have it on a Steam Deck. Probably going to pick it up on the Switch, so I can play it on Switch too, just because that's what's attached to my television. It really does feel like a great console game from that standpoint, because you want it with feels like you want it with a few friends over, where you're all just causing chaos, and it's Marvel chaos, so it's good. Yeah, Marvel.
Whatever console you have the most controllers for.
Yeah, exactly. Marvel Cosmic Invasion, really good, enjoyable. Not perfect, but I think it does the service well for what you're kind of expecting. I've been playing another game, playing an indie game that is just crazy. So let me get out of that first real quick. Okay, so I've been playing a game, an indie game called Tingus Goose. And if that name sounds weird, that's because the game itself is very weird. Tingus Goose, when the game was first sent to me, they included this trailer that that just looked bizarre. I had no idea what was happening in this trailer. It looked parts cute, and part like weird and demented. And who's that artist that has like always shows the characters like eating their faces, eating themselves? Pimp was it
Goya?
No, Pimperton. Someone will correct me. Plimpton.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
JJ's a big fan, I think.
Yeah. Anyways, this feels like one of those because okay, let me this is my opening sentence. What is life if not about geese, babies, and money? And that's what this game is about. Also throw in some body horror. That's what Tingus is about. It's also cozy, and it's a clicker game, and it has this wild art. So, and it's all stupidly charming. So in Tingus Goose, the game has us grow a goose tree that needs to reach a very specific height so they can mate with another goose. So you're at the bottom, and you're growing this goose tree up to meet the other goose at the top. Tree grows out of the ground, or a person, or a giraffe, or a person's butt. And as you play, branches will bloom, which are different goose things. It could be a goose head. It could be a goose butt. It could be a goose with spikes. It could be whatever. And your goal is to watch these babies that fall out and drop to the ground. And every time they bump into something, you get cash out of it. And if you get enough cash, you can water the goose, and the goose tree grows. So as the goose tree grows, you'll get these appendages pop out of the side. And as the babies, which are the tinguses, as the tingus bounces, you accrue that money. So that's the loop, right? Water the goose tree, and it grows, and babies come out. And as the babies bounce, you can water the goose tree even more. I played this game with touch. You can play it with a controller or a mouse. I think touch is actually the best way to play it, because as the appendages are growing out, you're kind of grabbing them and repositioning them. That's kind of that's the reason you want to do this. Want to actually kind of grow your tree and manage certain things, because you can let the babies fall out and bounce, hit the ground, and eventually, just like any clicker game, eventually you'll accrue enough money to water the goose. But it goes from like $1 to like thousands of dollars very quickly.
This artwork reminds me of like a horror version of Hidden Folks.
So exactly. So we water the goose. Babies bounce out. We get money, and we reach our mating goal, and then you go to the next chapter. It's a shorter game. It's kind of endearing in this simplicity. They could have done it with like balls or eggs, because geese lay eggs. They could have done it with rocks. They could have done it just as a tree with leaves. No, they made it a goose that grows out of humans, and that you get money to grow the goose even further, and you mate and you move on. It is psychotic from that standpoint. Congratulations, it's a goose. But this is definitely a game where the sum of its parts work together so well. All of this just absurdity, and absurd is going to be a good word. All of this absurdity is what makes this game so fantastic from that standpoint. It's meant to make us uncomfortable, kind of just in both the actions that we're doing and what we're seeing out there, right? You're seeing babies bounce on geese, hit the ground, and make us money. And that's
like big.
that's
The big
the game.
proportion is like honestly, they keep showing the trailer like honestly very iconic, like with like the head and like the finger branches. Yes,
definitely the finger branches. Again, part of that is again the whole body horror aspect, right? It's thank you to sweaty chairs and play sores. The whole body horror aspect of this. It's like there are gross things that happen and ideas that take place in this, but at the same time, it's purposeful. Again, it's meant to make us uncomfortable because what we're seeing is, and I don't think they have any necessary like. I don't think they have a moral that they're trying to tell us. I think they just said all this stuff looks really cool and really bizarre, and let's have fun with it.
Somebody just started drawing stuff, and
someone just started doodling. But then at the same time, you're like, I can kind of see if this were to have a purpose, I can see what they're trying to say, which is, we're just a society that just overdoes our reliance on money and these basic tenets of money and family and love. And it's like, well, this is what it all gets you, right? You're supposed to mate. You're supposed to have a family and you got to make money. And it's like, okay, that's the loop of life that we live in right now. So anyways, it's, I love that humor has become humor is a part of this game. Humor has become a great addition to games lately. And not just like funny lines, like we just talked about Miles and Metroid Prime, but when you build humor at the core of a gaming experience, like this, like Hidden People, like I forget one of my favorite games that from last year, the British humor game. There are even the Goose Game, whatever. And there are like when you design humor as a basic tenet of your game. Instead of an additional, like just glazing, you can come up with some really awesome ideas. Oh, yeah. This is built on humor. It's not just funny lines. It's that whole experience. So yeah, it's delightful in a weird way. For someone like me who's obsessed with like Idle and Clicker and art and like doodling, this is like, it was just right up my alley. It scratched this weird itch. I wasn't expecting this game. And I'm like, this is it's just silly. And I really dig it, and it feels like a bunch of just wild web comics that somebody would make that you'd see on like the Oatmeal, or Johnny from the site, or just something you'd see somebody post on Blue Sky or Twitter or just wherever in a web forum. And it's like, yeah, I probably would have sketched that, but let's make a game out of it. So yeah, it's just cool. I enjoy it. It's silly, short. You got babies falling into ducks, and they poop out eggs sometimes. They poop out babies, and you get money.
AI could never make this.
AI could never make this. I don't think God could make it either, but somebody had to, because it's just that wild. So yeah, I can. I think it's out on a bunch of things right now. So yeah, good stuff. But that's it. That's what we got.
Say you played it on
Steam Deck. That was on the Steam Deck. Yeah. Okay. So I was using the touchscreen on the Steam Deck, which was nice. And I did play it on my laptop to just kind of get an understanding of, how it compares, and just typical mouse and keyboard stuff on the laptop. But I use Steam Deck. Try to do more on the Steam Deck because I'm such a console gamer, and I like to sit on the couch and watch Stranger Things or Christmas movies or whatever my family is doing and game, which you can't do that with the laptop. Can't do that with the Steam machine. You can only do that with a TV and a portable device. So yeah. But yeah, anyways, that's the episode. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Stefan, for joining us. You had a good first appearance. That you are real. And I'm looking at the time. It's way past your bedtime.
Oh,
young
okay.
Man, you've got class in the morning, so make sure you brush your teeth, floss, and get your math homework done, physics homework. Yep. Tyler, thank you for joining us, bud. Always awesome to have you on there. We forgot to do one thing. We forgot to do one more thing. And typically we'll start the show with the dance. Today we're going to end the show with the dance. I do expect you, Stefan, to dance.
No. I am not a dancer at all.
SideQuesting.com, SideQuesting TV on YouTube and Twitch. Hop into the Discord. Get to know us. Hop into Patreon if you'd like. We got some fun things going on. We're going to have the drink along this Thursday, and then likely next week sometime. We're trying to figure it out. We'll talk staff wise when we're gonna do our annual SideQuesting holiday party, and it's always a blast. So playing games,
I'll definitely try to be here for
maybe opening some of our Secret Santa gifts and go from there. But we're gonna end the show. Thank you to our good friend Zero for creating our music. Let's get the show on the road.
Behind this.